Something has happened in the NFC North that could completely reshape the balance of power in the division, and almost no one saw it coming. One of the most respected defensive players in the division is suddenly up for grabs, and if the Minnesota Vikings act quickly, they could land a game-changing piece that will have an impact on the league. What if the one play that will help them win the division is right in front of us, and the Vikings are the only ones bold enough to pull it off? I'll give you the details, but first, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Green Bay Packers have officially released cornerback Jaire Alexander, a two-time Pro Bowler and, when healthy, one of the NFL's best coverage players. Not only does this development weaken a division rival, it also presents a rare opportunity for Minnesota to bolster an already surging defense with a proven veteran who brings skill and an edge to the field. This isn't just about a player hitting the market. It's about a statement. A message to the rest of the NFC North that the Vikings are no longer content with being a quiet presence. This is a moment where the front office can swing big, show conviction, and seize on a golden opportunity. And here's where it gets even more interesting. History is already on the Vikings' side when it comes to picking up former Packers. Think of Jaire Smith, who crossed the border and made an immediate impact in Minnesota. Think of Aaron Jones this offseason, choosing purple and gold after his run in green and gold. The precedent is there, and now Alexander could be the next chapter in that storyline. Let's look at the facts. The Packers tried negotiating a restructured deal with Alexander, but it never materialized. That in itself was unexpected. Despite injury concerns, Alexander has consistently graded well, including an 80.3 PFF score in 2022. The season where he gave Justin Jefferson some of the toughest coverage of his career. Though he's dealt with shoulder and knee issues the past 2 seasons, when he's on the field, Jaire remains a difference maker. Adding him to the Vikings defense under Brian Flores wouldn't just be about talent, it would be about fit. Flores runs one of the most aggressive, high-pressure schemes in the league, the kind that thrives with smart, physical corners on the boundary. Byron Murphy Jr. has proven to be a solid CB1 option, especially when deployed in the slot, which is where Flores prefers to use him. That leaves a gaping need for a top-tier outside corner, and Jaire fits that need perfectly. Think about the potential combinations. With Murphy inside and Jaire locking down one sideline, Minnesota can take pressure off younger corners like a Caleb Evans, Mekhi Blackman, or even Jeff Okudah and rookie Dwight McGlothern. Suddenly, your cornerback room goes from being a liability to one of the deepest units in the division. Suddenly, you have options, and in today's NFL, that kind of flexibility is gold. And the rivalry angle? It's too good to ignore. What better way for Alexander to get revenge on a team that gave up on him than to face them twice a year, in their own division, wearing the rival's colors? This move wouldn't just boost the defense, it would send a psychological jolt through the entire NFC North. Let's be clear, this isn't a reckless gamble. In fact, it's a low-risk, high-reward play. Signing Alexander to a 1-year deal, say, $8 million, is a perfectly manageable move financially. If he stays healthy and returns to his 2022 form, you have one of the league's best defenses. If he doesn't, you've taken a calculated risk that doesn't jeopardize your future cap space. And if there's any doubt about whether Minnesota is a good destination for veterans looking to make an impact, just ask players like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, who signed this offseason. One of the biggest draws? Playing for Brian Flores. This isn't just about system, it's about energy, creativity, and the kind of locker room that attracts guys who want to win. The same could apply to Alexander. Now let's talk about the Packers, because this release doesn't happen in a vacuum. Their secondary, already shaky, just took a major blow. K'Shawn Nixon, primarily a special teams standout, is now expected to be CB1. He's flanked by players like Kalen King, Nate Hobbs, and Carrington Valentine, not exactly a group that strikes fear into opposing wideouts. If there was ever a moment for Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison to feast, it's now. And that's exactly what producer Dylan hinted at before the show. If Minnesota's receiving duo can't shred that defense, then something's wrong. But imagine this, not just Jefferson and Addison carving up the Packers' weakened secondary, but Alexander anchoring Minnesota's. Imagine him locking down one side, giving Flores more freedom to send pressure, confuse quarterbacks, and generate turnovers. Imagine the irony if Alexander ends up being the one to intercept Jordan Love in a key divisional game. That's not just poetic justice, that's strategic brilliance. Of course, the biggest red flag is health. Alexander has missed significant time in 3 of the last 4 seasons. That shoulder has been a lingering issue, and his knee hasn't been great either. But even with limited snaps, his impact remains undeniable. And if the Vikings can manage his reps, perhaps use him more situationally rather than expecting 17 full starts, there's reason to believe they can keep him healthy into the postseason. Now here's where it gets exciting for fans, the battles in practice. Think about the level of competition we'd see between Alexander and Jefferson. Add Addison into the mix, and you have a training environment that sharpens both sides of the ball. These are the types of internal matchups that elevate a team and create championship culture. So what's the holdup? The pieces make sense. The need is there. The fit is clear. And the motivation, from both the player and the team side, couldn't be more aligned. Let's hear from you. Should the Vikings go all in and sign Jaire Alexander? Would you make that move, or do you think the team's current corners are ready to step up? Drop your answer in the comments. And here's the final piece to consider, the timing. Moves like this don't come around often in June. The Vikings have cap space, a needed corner, and a legitimate shot to compete in the NFC. Signing Jaire Alexander wouldn't be a desperate swing, it would be a calculated strike. It would show that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell aren't just building for the future, they're trying to win right now. This team is close. Closer than many think. With Justin Jefferson locked in, J.J. McCarthy stepping into a leadership role, and a defense already stacked with aggressive talent, this isn't a rebuild, it's a retool. And adding a motivated, revenge-fueled veteran like Alexander could be the missing ingredient to take this defense from good to elite. The message to the rest of the league? The Vikings aren't backing down. They're hunting. Now, I want to hear from you, seriously. Do you think this is the move Minnesota needs to make? Are you all in on signing Jaire Alexander, or do you trust the current cornerback room to hold up through a full season? Let me know in the comments, S4 sign or P4 pass. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dive Vikings news, don't forget to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. We're dropping content daily, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. SKOL!